Hail, O star that pointest towards the port of heaven, thou to whom as maiden God for Son was given.
Hello, and it's good to welcome you again to this series of short talks introducing Divine Worship Daily Office. My name is Father David Lashbrooke, and I am a priest of the personal Ordinariate of Our Lady of Walsingham. In this short episode, I will talk about how to pray using the Commonwealth Edition of Divine Worship Daily Office. This is the office now prayed in our Ordinariate, and as Monsignor Newton explained in the first episode, it is drawn from the Anglican tradition and approved for use in the Catholic Church. If you already have a copy of the book, it might be good to have it with you for this episode. And do feel free to pause this video at any point as you look things up. I think it is helpful to start by opening the book and looking at what's inside. Take some time to read through the table of contents on page 7. This, at a glance, shows how the book is divided into sections. The first few sections have the nuts and bolts of how to use the book, and like all Catholic liturgical books, there is the all-important decree from the Holy See authorising it. The next section is the general introduction. This is really the user's manual, and it would be helpful to spend time reading it, and if you are preparing to help a community to pray the office who may ask questions, it is an invaluable source of reference. Not just the how-to information, but it includes some of the answers of why, especially if we are fortunate to be able to sing parts of the office, which is so much part of our patrimony. In the next section, we find the table of liturgical days and the calendar, and also the table of lessons, indicating what readings are read and when. However, if you are praying from this book, as you will see, all the lessons are helpfully laid out in full. And so we come to the sections of the actual texts that make up our prayer to the Lord. Firstly, we come to the collects. These are the final prayers arranged by the seasons of the year for Saints' Days and the commons used on Saints' Days that don't have their own special proper collect. Then comes the supplementary texts, the Athanasian Creed and the Litany, all of which will be discussed in another episode. Just before the office, you will find occasional prayers and thanksgiving starting on page 351. And you will probably want these for the office. So if you have a spare prayer card lying about, this would be a good place in the book to put it. Then comes the section named the Ordinary of the Divine Office. This gives the various offices from morning prayer to Compline. After these are the anthems of the Blessed Virgin Mary and the Office of the Dead. Again, you can learn about all these in other episodes. Two really important sections follow. First, the Psalms of David on page 461. These you'll need every day at morning and evening prayer. In our tradition, we pray the Psalms according to the day of the month. They are divided into 30 days, and we just repeat day 30 when there are 31 days. You will definitely want to put a ribbon here. When you look at the Psalms, you will see that they are split into morning and evening. So you have day 1 morning and day 1 evening, and so on throughout the course of the month. In the next section, we have the lessons. These are the Bible readings for morning and evening prayer, taken from the Old and New Testament every morning and evening. Again, you'll need a ribbon here. We generally move through the lessons day after day, but on certain feasts there are special lessons. These proper lessons start on page 1900. Finally, the book has a number of appendices, and these we covered in yet another episode. But why not look through them before and see what's there? Now we know what is in the book, let's talk about how to pray the office. First of all, we want to make sure we are in the right frame of mind. The office helps give our daily routine a structure and focus based in prayer. So make space in your day. Maybe find a quiet place to pray. The ideal place is in a church, but anywhere will do. You might have a place set aside for prayer at home, or you might be praying on the train or the tube. This is a great public witness. And if you can't be in church, then why not use your commute as a way to remind others of the presence of God in their daily lives? If you're able to pray in church or gather at home, why not invite others to pray with you? Or even use some of the wonderful modern technologies which enable those geographically apart to come close in this life of prayer. You might start small, perhaps praying the office before Mass in the church, or gather to say one of the offices in the week, perhaps even song on Sunday afternoon or similar. If you do this, you might also think about singing some of the office. The Psalms and the Canticles are meant to be sung, and you can easily find simple resources for this. And in a further series, we will explore how this can be achieved. Remember too that you can always ask your local Ordinariate clergy for help. Maybe one of the most challenging parts of the office, especially when prayed with others, is how to pray the Psalms. When praying the Psalms, notice how they are laid out in the book. The verses have a colon in the middle. This comes to us from the Hebrew way of praying Psalms. It indicates a slight pause in the middle of a verse, a moment to recollect on the goodness of God. When we pray in this way, we pause at the half verse, but not between verses. It can seem a bit odd at first, but when you get into the rhythm, it makes a powerful, prayerful way of praying the office, whether said or sung. Here's an example from Psalm 42. Like as the hart desireth the water brooks, so longeth my soul after thee, O God. My soul is athirst for God, yea, even for the living God. When shall I come to appear before the presence of God? This has been a really quick overview of what is in the Commonwealth Edition of Divine Worship Daily Office. It will take you some time to get used to it, but do not be afraid to ask your local Ordinariate clergy for help. In the meantime, why not watch another episode to see how to set up your book for the office? Thank you for watching. Please pray for the Ordinariate and know that we are praying for you. May God bless you.
Hail,